And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a small game in the Egg series from Eagle Gryphon Games. This is Egg number 4. This is Krakatoa, an explosive dice game, and it was designed by a guy as he was visiting Tahiti, designed in the early 80s. This is a game about volcanoes? No, it's not a game about volcanoes. It's a game about rolling dice and then using the colors on those dice to score points. Think of it as an advanced version of Greed, or any game where you roll dice and see what you score. There's a bit of dexterity to this one. Really, this game, I'm not even sure how to quickly describe it. The best way is to show it. So in this game, you need somewhat of a, not a hard surface to roll on, because you're going to be rolling dice on that. So I have a padded surface on my table here, but to make it even a little bit more padded, I'm going to put down kind of a drop cloth. So you can play like on a blanket or something like that. And you're going to be rolling 9 dodecahedron dice here. They're called dodecas. There's 3 of them are white. They're steam dice. The 3 gray dice are ash dice. The 3 black dice are lava dice. They have blue pips on 5 of the sides, red on 4 of the sides, and yellow on 3. So you'll roll to see who goes first, and then after you decide, on the player's turn, they're going to roll the dice 5 times. Roll number 1 is all your dice. And I'm going to be, normally I wouldn't move them around, but I'm going to just move them so that they're all in screen. And you're going to be looking at each set of dice and scoring. So you'll see on the gray dice, I have 3 of a kind, which according to the sheet here, 3 blues is worth 3 points. That's a Mauna Loa volcano. Hooray! And then on the white dice, I have 2 yellows and a red. That's 2 points. And on the black dice, I have 2 blues and a yellow, which is worth 1 point. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6 points. I take my sheet here and I'll put 6 points in my first roll. Now for my second roll, you can choose any set to roll. So I'm probably going to roll the lowest scoring set, which is the black set. So I'm going to pick them up. Now when you roll them, you're supposed to roll them with your thumb on one side and your 3 fingers on the other side. So it looks like this. And you're going to throw them, and they have to hit and move at least one other die. So I'm going to try to hit this red one here, because if I can change it to a yellow, that's a 10-point score. So I come over here, go 1 inch away, and so I roll the dice. Now, again, I wouldn't normally move the dice around like this, but I'm just doing it so they stay on the screen. Now I score again. Now you look here, and I have a blue volcano on the grays, a blue volcano on the blacks, but the white dice are just garbage now because they're all different. So there's the other volcano. So that's 6 points total. So I'm going to add 6 points here to my score, which gives me a total of 12. All right, so now for my final 3 rows, I have to roll them in order. I'm going to roll the steam set next. That's just required. And unfortunately, I have to hit one of the dice. I'm actually pretty happy with them all being the same, but maybe I can change one to a yellow, I guess. But no, it doesn't matter. Well, whatever. So I take them, and I roll the dice. I'm just hoping to get a better thing on the steam dice. So now I have 3 points again for the blue. I have 2 reds and a yellow, which is 1. And I have 2 blues and a red, which is nothing. So the 2 whites and a yellow is, the 2 reds and a yellow is 1, plus 3 is 4. So 4 plus 12, I've now scored 16 points. Now I have to roll the gray set, which is unfortunate because they're the ones scoring me 3 points. And I'm going to try, I'm going to try to knock that white die and the red die. Hopefully I can get both of them to change. All right, so what do I have here? I have 3 reds. Now that's a great combination for the white. That's 5 points. 2 blues and a red, still worth nothing. 2 blues and a red, but 5 points. So I add 5 points to my score of 16 and 21. And now for my final roll, which will be the volcano dice. I'm not going to try to mess with those 3 whites because that's a pretty good roll. Instead, I'm going to try to hit this gray one here. And I got 2 reds and a yellow. So the 2 reds and a yellow is 1 point plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 21 is 27. Now, there are kinds of bonuses that you can get. I was hoping to have rolled one, but that does not happen. If your score ever ends in a multiple of 11, 11, 12, 22, 33, etc., then your next bonus roll is doubled. If it ever ends in a 20 number, 20, 40, 60, 80, your next score is quadrupled. If you roll and there's only 2 colors showing, did that happen? I don't remember if it did or not. Then you get a rumble, and it depends on the number of volcanoes you have. If you have 0 to 1, you get double on your next roll. If you have 2 or 3 volcanoes, you get triple. Remember, a volcano is all 3 dice being the same. And then if you have 3 different volcanoes, or 3 sets of volcanoes, then you will get double or quadruple, depending on whether they're all the same or not, on your next 2 rolls. Now, of course, there's a lot of luck involved there. And then you just keep scoring. You can play multiple rounds of doing this, and whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. Isn't that weird? The whole theme of this game is, volcanoes, whatever. That means nothing. But the way that the game's set, roll all the dice, then roll a set of your choice, then roll the steam, then the ash, then the volcano dice, or the lava dice. And each one you have to throw a specific way, and you have to throw it at the board. It has to hit another die. These are all kind of weird things for which, in the long run, is really random. You really can't control how the dice are going to knock and roll. I mean, you have choices as to which dice you're going to try to knock. At the beginning, you have a choice of which dice you're going to roll, but if your score ends in 11, or if your score ends in 20, you have no control over that. You really can't control the points that you're going to get in this game. So it's kind of like just rolling, and then some kind of convoluted scoring involved, then you add them up. And it's an entertaining thing to do. Like, you just saw me roll it, and I went a little bit slower there, but you can play it pretty quickly and roll and say, okay, and then roll. Okay, I got that. It's kind of a good solitaire style game. As a game itself, though, it's almost too weird to own, right? This is kind of one of those things where I'd be like, hey, yeah, you want to see this? You show it to someone, they're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Do you want to play it again? Never. And then you move on. So I don't really think there's much of a game here. It's more of a solitary exercise than anything else. They say, it's for 2 players, and you could play even more, 2 to 4 on the back here. Yeah, you could play this with 1,000 players if you want to, because what you do means nothing to the person who comes after you. Dice are cool, though. I like 12-sided dice. I like 12-sided dice that have 5 of one color, then 4, then 3. That's got to be used for something interesting. It is interesting. It's just not what I would consider to be a game. It's more of an activity to pass time, like maybe playing Yahtzee real quick on your phone, where you're not really playing it, someone else just pressing the button real quick to see what numbers you get this turn. It kind of the same feeling here. You feel like you're doing something neat, but you're really not. So it's a curiosity. Some people are going to want that in their collection. I would imagine most people aren't that interested, though. Dice Tower Judgment, unique and interesting, but probably not enough in here for a full-fledged game.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!